Have you ever felt a deep longing for clarity, purpose, and peace in the midst of life's chaos? Perhaps you've been pulled in countless directions, striving to meet endless demands, yet feeling an unshakable void that no achievement or relationship can fill. This isn't just coincidence, it's God's gentle call, urging you to pause, reflect, and realign your life with Him. His message is clear. He doesn't want to share your heart with distractions or let you wander aimlessly through the noise. He wants to guide you into a life of fulfillment, peace, and divine purpose. This journey isn't about perfection or religious ritual. It's about connection, trust, and transformation. God's invitation is deeply personal, a call to refocus your attention on Him, embrace His love, and allow Him to refine and realign every area of your life. It's a call to prioritize Him above all else and walk in step with the plans He has prepared for you. Over the next 6 parts, we'll explore the transformative power of answering this call. From letting go of distractions to walking in divine alignment, each step builds on the other, guiding you toward a life rooted in God's love and purpose. This is not just another to-do list. It's an invitation to experience the fullness of a relationship with the Creator, to walk boldly into the extraordinary life He has designed for you. Are you ready to embark on this journey? Let's dive into the path of renewal, starting with God's call to refocus your heart. Part 1. God's call, refocusing your heart. In the midst of life's chaos, distractions, and competing priorities, God's call for your attention is urgent and deeply personal. He is reaching out to you with an invitation, not to rebuke you, but to draw you closer to Him. This is a call to step back from the noise and realign your focus, to rediscover a deeper relationship that anchors your life in His purpose. God's voice cuts through the clamor, asking you to pause, reflect, and recognize His presence as central to your being. This call is not a mere suggestion. It is a divine invitation to reevaluate your priorities and make intentional space for Him in your daily life. The distractions that consume your time and energy may seem harmless at first, but they pull you further from the relationship God desires to have with you. He sees how stretched thin you've become, how the demands of others and the weight of responsibilities have drained your spirit. You may feel like you're constantly running on empty, striving to be everything for everyone, but God is asking you to stop and take a step back. He doesn't want to compete with the noise of your life, nor does He want to share your heart with superficial relationships, endless obligations, or fleeting distractions. He is calling you to realign your life so that He becomes your foundation, the unwavering center that sustains and strengthens you. God understands the challenges you face and the sacrifices you make for those around you. Your efforts to care for others and meet expectations are not unnoticed, but He wants you to realize that you cannot pour from an empty cup. The strain you feel is a sign that it's time to pause and turn to Him for renewal and guidance. God's desire for your attention is not born of selfishness, but out of love. He knows that when you prioritize Him, everything else in your life will begin to fall into place. His yoke is easy, and His burden is light. He promises to provide the strength, peace, and clarity you've been searching for. This is not about isolating yourself or abandoning your responsibilities. It's about protecting your connection with God, ensuring that your spiritual foundation remains strong and unshaken. God's call is a reminder that true peace and fulfillment are found in His presence. He invites you to start small, spend a few moments in prayer, read His Word, or simply sit in silence and listen for His voice. These acts of connection will become the anchor that grounds you, the source of strength that enables you to navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. God wants to be at the center of your decisions, your relationships, and your dreams. He longs to be the one you turn to in moments of overwhelm, the one you lean on when life feels heavy, and the one you celebrate with in times of joy. By prioritizing Him, you allow His love and wisdom to guide your actions and decisions. The choice is yours. Will you continue to give your time and energy to things that drain you? Or will you redirect your focus to the one who gives you life and purpose? God's invitation is not about perfection. It's about intentionality. He wants you to approach Him with an open heart, trusting that He will provide everything you need. This season of life is an opportunity for realignment, It's a chance to examine what is pulling you away from God and reassess the commitments that consume your energy without bringing you closer to Him. Setting boundaries, saying no to distractions, and creating intentional time for God are acts of faith that protect and nurture your relationship with Him. This process is not about rejecting others, but about safeguarding the spiritual connection that fuels your ability to serve and love more effectively. When God becomes your priority, the love and energy you share with others are amplified, flowing from a place of abundance rather than exhaustion. God's desire for your attention is rooted in His longing to bless you with peace, clarity, and fulfillment. He knows that when you align your heart with His purpose, the blessings you've been searching for will naturally flow into your life. His plans for you are greater than anything you could imagine, and He wants you to experience the fullness of His love and provision. This isn't a call to withdraw from the world. It's an invitation to come closer to Him and allow His presence to transform you. As you respond to God's call, take a moment to pause and reflect on His message. Let it resonate in your spirit and remind you of the importance of prioritizing your relationship with Him. This is a turning point, a chance to embrace the peace and clarity that come from walking in alignment with God's purpose. He's asking for your undivided attention, not to take something away from you, but to give you something far greater. Trust that when you make Him your foundation, everything else in your life will begin to align, and the path ahead will become clear. God's message is clear. He doesn't want to share you with the distractions of this world. He wants to be your refuge, your guide, and your source of strength. This is your moment to realign your heart, your time, and your focus with His purpose. The journey begins with a simple decision to prioritize Him, to step away from the noise, and to draw closer to the one who loves you unconditionally. Let this be the season where you embrace God's call, reclaim your focus, and experience the transformative power of His presence in your life. Part 2. The power of prioritizing God. When God invites you to prioritize Him in your life, it is not a burden but an opportunity to receive the greatest blessing you could ever imagine. To place Him at the center of your life is to build a foundation from which everything else flows. It is not an addition to your already busy schedule, but a divine realignment that allows Him to guide you through the chaos, stress, and uncertainty that often overwhelm us when we attempt to navigate life on our own. God's call to prioritize Him is rooted in love, a desire to equip you with strength and clarity so you can thrive. Often, the sense of disarray we feel in our lives is a direct result of misplaced priorities. We try to juggle relationships, responsibilities, ambitions, and expectations without grounding ourselves in the one who holds it all together. This juggling act leaves us exhausted, scattered, and feeling as though we are failing in some area. God understands this. He is not asking for your attention to take something away from you. Rather, He is asking for your focus so He can give you something far greater. When you prioritize God, He fills your heart with a peace that surpasses all understanding, even amid life's most challenging moments. Placing God first in your life does not mean abandoning the people or responsibilities you care about. In fact, it means the opposite. Prioritizing God allows you to serve others from a place of abundance rather than depletion. When God becomes the source of your strength, your love for others becomes deeper and more effective. Your relationships are infused with wisdom, patience, and compassion that only come from aligning with God's will. You are better equipped to navigate challenges and serve those around you when you are rooted in His presence. This alignment begins with simple, intentional actions. Start your day with Him. Spend a few moments in prayer or reflection, asking for His guidance and acknowledging His presence in your life. Invite Him into your daily decisions, whether they are big or small. Seek His will as you make plans, face challenges, or encounter opportunities. This ongoing connection will deepen your relationship with Him and provide the clarity and strength you need to face life with confidence. God does not want to be an afterthought in your life. He desires to be your foundation. When you put Him first, you will notice a transformation in how you approach life. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will feel lighter because you will know you are not facing them alone. Opportunities that once felt uncertain will come with clarity because you will trust His guidance. Relationships that once drained you will either become strengthened by His wisdom or fade away naturally, making room for connections that align with His purpose for you. This prioritization of God is not about perfection, but about connection. It is not about following a set of rules or performing religious rituals. It is about cultivating a personal, intimate relationship with the Creator. It is about inviting Him into every aspect of your life and allowing Him to lead you. When you prioritize God, your perspective shifts. The things of this world, which once seemed so important, will lose their grip on you as you discover the peace and fulfillment that come from walking closely with Him. God knows the desires of your heart. He knows the dreams you hold, the challenges you face, and the burdens you carry. When you place Him first, He begins to work in your life in ways you cannot always see or understand in the moment. His timing is perfect, and His plans are always for your good. The relationships, opportunities, and blessings you have been longing for will naturally flow into your life when you are aligned with His purpose. This doesn't mean life will be free of challenges or that everything you desire will come easily. Instead, it means you will face life with a confidence and peace that come from knowing God is in control. You will no longer strive to force things to happen or fear the unknown, because you will trust that He is working all things together for your good. Prioritizing God allows you to walk in faith, knowing that His plans for you are greater than anything you could imagine. Making God a priority is a daily decision. It requires intentionality and consistency, but it does not have to be overwhelming. Start small. Dedicate a few minutes each day to connect with Him through prayer, worship, or reading His Word. These moments will become the foundation of your relationship with Him, grounding you in His love and wisdom. Over time, you will find yourself naturally turning to Him throughout your day, seeking His guidance and resting in His presence. When God is at the center of your life, you are no longer striving to control every aspect of your existence. You are free to trust Him, to let go of the things that drain you, and to embrace the life He has prepared for you. This freedom brings a sense of joy and fulfillment that cannot be found in worldly pursuits. It is the freedom of knowing that you are loved, valued, and supported by the Creator of the universe. This transformation is not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of those around you. When you prioritize God, the love and wisdom He pours into you will overflow into your relationships and responsibilities. You will become a source of encouragement, strength, and guidance for others, reflecting His light and love in everything you do. Your life will become a testimony of His goodness and grace, drawing others closer to Him. The power of prioritizing God lies in the peace, clarity, and fulfillment that come from aligning your life with His purpose. It is a journey of faith, trust, and surrender, one that leads to a life of abundance and impact. As you place Him first, you will discover that the things you once sought after no longer hold the same importance. Instead, you will find joy in walking closely with Him, knowing that He is leading you toward a life that is greater than anything you could have imagined. This is your invitation to let go of the chaos, the striving, and the distractions, and to embrace the peace and purpose that come from prioritizing God. It is not a one-time decision, but a daily commitment to seek Him first and trust Him with every aspect of your life. As you take this step, you will experience the transformative power of His love, grace, and guidance. This is the life He desires for you, one of peace, purpose, and fulfillment, rooted in a relationship with Him. Will you accept His invitation and make Him your priority today? Part 3. Letting go of distractions. Letting go of distractions is one of the most challenging yet transformative steps in drawing closer to God. These distractions often appear innocuous, blending seamlessly into the fabric of daily life. Yet they quietly erode the time and focus that God desires to share with you. Relationships, habits, and even your own racing thoughts can pull your attention away from Him. God's call to step away from these distractions is not about depriving you of joy or fulfillment. It is an act of love, an invitation to rediscover the peace and clarity that only come from making Him your priority. Distractions take many forms. They might be relationships that no longer align with God's purpose for you, consuming your energy without nourishing your soul. They could be habits that waste precious time or pull your focus away from spiritual growth. Sometimes, distractions are internal, thoughts that spiral, anxieties that fester, or doubts that whisper lies. Each of these pulls you further from the stillness and connection God desires for you. He sees these distractions for what they are: subtle tools used to dilute your purpose and keep you from walking fully in the destiny He has prepared for you. God is asking you to examine your life and take inventory. What is pulling your focus away from Him? What is occupying space in your heart that rightfully belongs to Him? These are not easy questions, nor are they meant to shame you. They are designed to free you. God's desire is to liberate you from the weight of distractions so you can experience the fullness of His presence. He knows the toll these distractions take on your soul, the weariness, the confusion, the restlessness. Letting go is not a punishment but an opportunity to reclaim the peace and clarity that are your inheritance as His beloved child. This process of letting go requires intentionality and courage. It begins with acknowledging the distractions that have taken root in your life and recognizing the ways they hinder your relationship with God. It might mean rethinking how you spend your time, setting boundaries with people who drain your energy, or saying no to commitments that pull you away from your purpose. These are not acts of rejection, but acts of protection, shielding your heart and mind from the things that separate you from God. Letting go of distractions also means creating space for God to move in your life. It is about carving out intentional moments of connection with Him, whether through prayer, reading His Word, worship, or simply sitting in stillness. These moments become sacred anchors, grounding you in His love and purpose. As you step away from the noise, you will begin to hear His voice more clearly. The static of the world will fade, replaced by His whispers of guidance, reassurance, and love. This process is not without its challenges. Distractions often provide a false sense of comfort or escape, making it difficult to release them. You may feel hesitant to let go, fearing the void they leave behind. But God assures you that this space will not remain empty. He will fill it with His peace, His presence, and His purpose. What He has for you is far greater than anything you are releasing. Trust that as you let go of distractions, you are making room for the blessings, growth, and transformation He has prepared for you. As you begin this journey, you will notice profound shifts in your spirit. The peace you have been longing for will start to replace the restlessness that distractions once caused. The clarity you have been seeking will emerge, guiding your steps and decisions. You will find strength in the stillness, discovering that God's presence is not only enough, but abundantly more than you could imagine. Letting go is not about losing something. It is about gaining everything that truly matters. God is not asking you to isolate yourself or live a life devoid of joy. Instead, He is calling you to a life of intentionality, one where your priorities reflect His purpose for you. By letting go of distractions, you are saying yes to a deeper relationship with Him, one that empowers you to navigate life with confidence, grace, and peace. You are choosing to protect your connection with Him, ensuring that it remains the foundation upon which everything else is built. This act of letting go is not about achieving perfection. It is about progress, about taking small, consistent steps toward a life that is aligned with God's will. It is about trusting that His plans for you are better than anything the world could offer. Distractions may still arise, but with God at the center of your life, you will have the discernment and strength to overcome them. You will no longer be swayed by the noise of the world, but will stand firm in the peace and purpose of His presence. Letting go of distractions also deepens your trust in God. It requires you to surrender control, to release the things you have been clinging to, and to trust that He will provide. This surrender is an act of faith, a declaration that you believe His plans for you are good, even when the path ahead is unclear. As you let go, you are opening yourself to the abundance that comes from walking closely with Him. Imagine a life where your heart is not weighed down by distractions, where your mind is clear, and your spirit is at peace. This is the life God desires for you, a life where His presence is your refuge and His voice is your guide. He is calling you to step away from the noise and draw closer to Him, to let go of the things that pull you away and embrace the fullness of His love and purpose. This is your moment to take inventory of your life and make the intentional choice to release what no longer serves you. Letting go of distractions is not easy, but it is worth it. The peace, clarity, and fulfillment that await you on the other side of this surrender are beyond anything the world could offer. God is ready to meet you where you are, to guide you through this process, and to fill your life with His presence and purpose. As you let go of distractions, you are stepping into a new season of growth and transformation. You are reclaiming your focus, realigning your heart, and rediscovering the joy of walking closely with God. This is not just a moment of change. It is the beginning of a journey toward a life that reflects His love and glory. Trust in His promise and take the first step today. Let go of the distractions, embrace His presence, and experience the fullness of His peace and purpose. Part 4. The depth of God's love. God's call for your attention is not rooted in rules, demands, or obligations. It is rooted in the vast, immeasurable depth of His love for you. This love is not distant or abstract. It is personal, intimate, and transformative. God's love for you is unconditional and unshakable, a love that surpasses all human understanding. When He asks for your focus, He does so not because He needs validation or because He is competing with the noise of your life, but because He longs to pour into you everything you've been searching for: peace, fulfillment, and purpose. God's love is not transactional. It is transformational. You don't have to earn it, prove your worth, or meet a set of conditions to receive it. His love is freely given, not based on what you have done or failed to do, but on who He is. He loves you simply because you are His. This truth can be difficult to grasp in a world where so much is conditional, but God's love is eternal and unwavering. It remains constant even when you falter, even when you doubt, even when you feel unworthy. His love is steadfast, reaching out to you in your mess, your struggles, and your victories. This is the kind of love that transforms. When you fully embrace God's love, something profound happens within you. The doubts, insecurities, and fears that once held you back begin to fade. His love gives you confidence because you know that you are deeply valued and unconditionally cherished. His love gives you peace because you understand that no matter what challenges you face, you are never alone. His love gives you purpose because it reminds you that you were created with intention, designed for something greater than yourself. God's love is not fleeting or surface level. It is deeply personal. He knows every detail of your life, every thought, every emotion, every experience. He sees the places where you've been hurt, the areas where you feel broken, and the dreams you've kept hidden. His love meets you in these places and begins to heal, restore, and renew. There is no depth too deep, no wound too great, and no fear too strong for His love to overcome. It penetrates the darkest corners of your heart, bringing light, hope, and renewal. Imagine waking up every morning with the assurance that you are deeply loved by the Creator of the universe. Imagine carrying that love into your relationships, your work, and your dreams, knowing that you are supported, guided, and cherished. This is what God wants for you. Not a life of striving, but a life of thriving in the fullness of His love. His love is not a passive feeling. It is active, pursuing, and unrelenting. It chases after you, seeking to draw you closer, even when you feel distant or distracted. God's love is not meant to be understood only intellectually. It is meant to be experienced. This experience begins with your willingness to open your heart and make Him your priority. When you give Him your undivided attention, you allow Him to pour His love into your life in ways that transform every aspect of your being. This is not about following a set of religious practices or adhering to rules. It is about building a relationship with Him that is alive and deeply connected. It is about inviting Him into every moment, every decision, and every challenge, trusting that His love is sufficient. This kind of intimacy with God requires intentionality. It means setting aside time to be with Him, to talk to Him, and to listen to Him. It means allowing His Word to shape your thoughts, His Spirit to guide your actions, and His presence to fill your heart. These moments of connection become the foundation of your relationship with Him. the source of strength and peace that sustains you through life's uncertainties. God's love also brings freedom. It frees you from the need to seek validation from the world because you already have the unconditional approval of your Creator. It frees you from the burden of perfectionism because His grace is sufficient for your weaknesses. It frees you from fear because His perfect love casts out all fear. This freedom allows you to step into the life you were created to live, a life of purpose, joy, and abundance that reflects His glory. When you make God's love your foundation, your perspective shifts. The challenges that once seemed overwhelming become opportunities to rely on His strength. The relationships that once drained you are transformed as His love flows through you, enabling you to love others with grace and patience. The doubts and insecurities that once held you back are replaced by confidence in His promises. You begin to see yourself as He sees you, worthy, chosen, and deeply loved. This is the invitation God extends to you, to step into the fullness of His love and let it transform every part of your life. His love is not something you have to strive for. It is already yours. All He asks is that you open your heart to receive it. As you embrace His love, you will discover a peace that surpasses understanding, a joy that is unshakable, and a purpose that is greater than anything you could have imagined. God doesn't want just a part of you. He wants all of you, not because He demands it, but because He knows that when you give Him your heart, your time, and your focus, you will experience the fullness of His love in ways that will transform your life. His love is the anchor that steadies you in the storm, the refuge that shelters you in times of trouble, and the foundation that supports you as you step boldly into the future He has prepared for you. This is your moment to embrace the depth of God's love. He is calling you not to earn His love, but to receive it, not to strive, but to rest, not to perform, but to be present. Let His love fill every part of your being and overflow into every area of your life. Trust that His love is enough to heal, restore, and empower you. This is the love you've been searching for, and it has always been Him. Part 5. Walking in obedience to God's call. Walking in obedience to God's call is not merely about compliance or following a set of rules. It is about stepping into the extraordinary life He has designed for you. It is an invitation to align yourself with His divine purpose, trusting that His plans are greater than anything you could ever imagine. Obedience is a sacred act of faith, one that requires surrender, courage, and unwavering trust in His wisdom and love. Through obedience, you enter into a partnership with God, allowing Him to guide you toward the blessings, breakthroughs, and destiny He has prepared for you. Obedience often begins with small, intentional steps. It might be dedicating time each day to prayer, studying His Word, or seeking His guidance in your decisions. It could mean setting aside distractions, walking away from relationships that no longer align with His purpose, or saying yes to opportunities that stretch you outside of your comfort zone. Whatever He is calling you to do, obedience requires action. It is not enough to hear God's voice or feel the nudge of His Spirit. You must respond with faith and intentionality, trusting that He will equip you for the journey ahead. Walking in obedience is not always easy. It often involves sacrifice, letting go of habits, comforts, or plans that you have held onto tightly. It might mean facing uncertainty, stepping into the unknown, or enduring challenges that test your faith. But these sacrifices are not in vain. They create space for God to work in your life, making room for His blessings, wisdom, and provision. Each step of obedience is a step closer to the life He has called you to live, a life of purpose, fulfillment, and impact. Obedience is not about perfection. It is about faithfulness. God does not expect you to have it all figured out or to execute His will flawlessly. He simply asks for your willingness to trust Him and take the next step, even when the path ahead is unclear. His grace covers your shortcomings, and His strength sustains you through every challenge. In moments of doubt or fear, remember that He is with you, walking beside you and equipping you with everything you need to fulfill His call. As you walk in obedience, you will begin to see the fruits of your faithfulness. Doors that once seemed closed will open. Relationships that align with your purpose will flourish. And opportunities that once felt out of reach will become attainable. But beyond these external blessings, obedience brings an inner transformation. It deepens your relationship with God, strengthens your trust in His plan, and fills you with a sense of peace and confidence that can only come from walking in alignment with His will. God's call to obedience is not a demand for control. It is an invitation to partnership. He knows the path that leads to your purpose and fulfillment, and He desires to walk it with you. Obedience is about surrendering your plans and desires to Him, trusting that His ways are higher than yours. It is about acknowledging that He sees the bigger picture, that He knows what is best for you, and that He is working all things together for your good. When you walk in obedience, you are not walking alone. God is your companion, your guide, and your source of strength. He equips you with His wisdom, empowers you with His Spirit, and provides for your every need. Each step of obedience is a step taken in His strength, a declaration of your trust in His faithfulness. And as you continue to walk in obedience, you will discover a deeper sense of purpose, a greater awareness of His presence, and a profound peace that comes from knowing you are walking in His will. Obedience also requires patience and perseverance. There will be moments when the path feels long, the challenges feel overwhelming, or the results are not immediately visible. In these moments, it is important to remember that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with your expectations. Trust that He is working in the background, orchestrating every detail for your good. Stay faithful, keep moving forward, and know that your obedience is paving the way for the blessings and breakthroughs He has prepared for you. One of the most powerful aspects of obedience is the transformation it brings to your heart and mind. As you align yourself with God's will, your perspective begins to shift. You start to see challenges as opportunities for growth, obstacles as opportunities for faith, and setbacks as setups for something greater. Your trust in God deepens, your dependence on Him grows, and your love for Him is strengthened. This inner transformation not only impacts your relationship with God, but also spills over into every area of your life, influencing how you interact with others, how you approach challenges, and how you pursue your dreams. Walking in obedience is not about achieving a destination. It is about embracing the journey. It is a daily decision to seek God's guidance, trust His plan, and align your actions with His purpose. It is a commitment to follow His lead, even when the way forward is uncertain or the path is difficult. And it is a declaration of your faith in His goodness, His love, and His ability to fulfill His promises. This is your moment to say yes to God's call, to step out in faith, and to walk in obedience to His will. It is an opportunity to partner with Him in fulfilling the incredible plans He has for your life. As you take this step, know that He is with you, guiding you, equipping you, and cheering you on. Trust that His plans for you are good. His timing is perfect, and His love is unending. The life you were created to live, a life of purpose, abundance, and impact, is on the other side of your obedience. This is not just a call to action. It is a call to transformation, to fulfillment, and to the extraordinary life God has prepared for you. Say yes to His call, trust in His plan, and walk boldly in the path He has set before you. This is your time to step into the fullness of His promises and embrace the life you were meant to live. Part 6. Trusting God's refinement. Trusting God's refinement is one of the most transformative aspects of your journey with Him. When God calls you to align your life with His purpose, He doesn't just leave you as you are. He begins a process of shaping and transforming you into the person He created you to be. This refinement is not always easy, and it often feels like being in the fire. However, the fire is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to purify, strengthen, and prepare you for the greater plans He has for your life. Refinement begins when you allow God to work in areas of your life that need change. He sees the habits, relationships, and thought patterns that are holding you back, even if you don't recognize them yourself. Often, these things feel comfortable or familiar, but they may no longer serve the person you are becoming. God's refinement involves removing these elements, not to harm or punish you, but to create space for growth and transformation. This process requires trust, as it can feel uncomfortable to let go of what is familiar, even when it no longer aligns with His purpose. The fire of refinement often comes through challenges and trials. These moments are not random or meaningless. They are tools God uses to shape your character, deepen your faith, and prepare you for the responsibilities and blessings ahead. When you face difficulties, it is tempting to question why they are happening or to resist the discomfort they bring. But in these moments, God is calling you to trust Him. He is reminding you that He sees the bigger picture and is working all things together for your good. Refinement also involves letting go of control. It's natural to want to hold on to the plans, ideas, or outcomes you've envisioned for yourself. But God's plans are higher, and His vision is greater than anything you could imagine. When you surrender control and trust in His refinement, you open yourself to His perfect will. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of faith. It is a declaration that you believe in His wisdom, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. As God refines you, He reveals areas of your life that need realignment. You may become aware of patterns, behaviors, or relationships that are no longer in harmony with His purpose for you. This awareness is a gift. It is God's way of guiding you toward a life that is more abundant, purposeful, and aligned with His vision. Trust that when He brings these things to light, it is because He is inviting you to release them and step into something greater. Refinement is not about perfection. It is about progress. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, the version that reflects His glory and fulfills His purpose. This process is not always quick or easy, but it is always intentional. Every trial, every moment of discomfort, and every act of trust is part of His plan to shape you into who you are meant to be. God is not wasting a single detail. He is using every moment to prepare you for the next chapter of your life. Through the process of refinement, you will notice a profound shift within yourself. The doubts and fears that once held you back will begin to fade, replaced by a confidence that comes from trusting in God's plan. Your faith will deepen, your resilience will grow, and your purpose will become clearer. You will find that the things you once clung to no longer hold the same power over you. Instead, your heart will be anchored in God's presence, and your spirit will be renewed. This transformation is not just for your benefit, it is also for the impact you are meant to have on others. As God refines you, He equips you to serve, lead, and love more effectively. Your story of refinement becomes a testimony of His goodness and grace, inspiring others to trust Him in their own journeys. You become a reflection of His work, a living example of how His love and guidance can transform a life. Trusting God's refinement requires patience and perseverance. There will be moments when the process feels difficult or overwhelming. In these moments, remember that God is with you. He is not distant or disconnected. He is actively working in every detail of your life. His presence is your refuge. His word is your guide, and His love is your strength. Trust that He will complete the work He has started in you, bringing it to fulfillment in His perfect timing. As you embrace God's refinement, you will discover a new depth of faith, a renewed sense of purpose, and a stronger connection with Him. You will look back on this season and see how every trial, every surrender, and every step of trust was part of His plan to prepare you for what is to come. The fire of refinement is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where you step boldly into the person God has called you to be. This is your time to trust God's refinement, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to embrace the transformation He is bringing into your life. The challenges you face are not meant to break you, they are meant to build you. Trust in His process, surrender to His work, and know that He is preparing you for something extraordinary. God's plans for you are good, and His refinement is proof of His deep love and commitment to your growth. This is your moment to step into the fullness of His purpose, knowing that He is with you every step of the way. Part 7. Walking in Divine Alignment. Walking in divine alignment is the culmination of the transformation God is calling you to. It is not about merely following a set of rules or going through the motions of faith. It is about fully syncing your heart, your thoughts, and your actions with God's purpose and plan for your life. This alignment is a profound shift, one where every decision, every step, and every relationship is guided by His presence. When you walk in divine alignment, you experience a life that flows with peace, clarity, and purpose. grounded in His will and empowered by His love. Divine alignment begins with a choice to prioritize God in every area of your life. This choice is not a one-time decision, but a daily commitment to seek Him first, to trust His timing, and to surrender your plans to His greater vision. When you make this commitment, you open the door for His grace and guidance to shape your life in ways you could never achieve on your own. The path of divine alignment is not about striving or chasing. It's about resting in His provision and trusting that He is leading you exactly where you need to be. As you walk in alignment with God, you'll notice a shift in how you approach challenges. Life's difficulties no longer feel insurmountable because you know that God is with you, guiding you through every trial. The peace that comes from trusting Him replaces the anxiety and frustration that often accompany uncertainty. Even when the path ahead is unclear, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that He is directing your steps. This trust becomes a firm foundation, anchoring you in the knowledge that God's plans for you are good and perfect. Divine alignment also transforms your relationships. When God is at the center of your life, the connections you form with others are rooted in His love and purpose. Relationships that no longer serve your growth or align with His will naturally fade away, making room for those that uplift and encourage you. These divinely aligned relationships provide mutual support, inspiration, and accountability, helping you stay focused on the path God has set before you. You'll find that the people in your life are not there by accident. They are part of God's plan to shape and strengthen you. Opportunities will also begin to align with God's purpose for you. Doors that once seemed closed will open, and paths that felt out of reach will become accessible. These opportunities are not coincidences. They are evidence of God's hand at work in your life. You'll find yourself in situations that feel divinely orchestrated, where every detail has been perfectly timed and aligned. This is the beauty of walking in alignment with God. He positions you exactly where you need to be, equipping you with everything you need to succeed. Walking in divine alignment brings a profound sense of freedom. You are no longer burdened by the need to control every aspect of your life. Instead, you are free to trust God's plan, knowing that He is working all things together for your good. This freedom allows you to let go of fears, doubts, and the distractions that once consumed you. You no longer have to strive for success or validation because you know that your worth is found in Him. This shift brings a peace that surpasses all understanding, a joy that is unshakable, and a fulfillment that cannot be found in worldly pursuits. Alignment with God requires intentionality. It is not a passive process, but an active choice to seek His guidance in every decision. This means spending time in prayer, immersing yourself in His Word, and listening for His voice. It means being attuned to His Spirit and allowing Him to shape your desires, goals, and actions. As you cultivate this relationship with God, His presence becomes the anchor that steadies you in every storm and the light that guides you through every season. Trust is at the heart of divine alignment. Trusting God means believing that His plans are better than your own, even when they don't align with your expectations. It means trusting His timing, even when it feels slow, and trusting His ways, even when they don't make sense. This trust allows you to release the need to control outcomes and to rest in the assurance that He is leading you toward His best for your life. When you trust God fully, you walk with a confidence that comes from knowing He is in control. Walking in divine alignment also shifts your priorities. The things that once seemed important may lose their significance, while the things that truly matter, your relationship with God, your purpose, and the impact you are meant to have, take center stage. This realignment of priorities brings a sense of clarity and focus, enabling you to live with intention and purpose. You are no longer pulled in multiple directions, trying to meet the world's demands. Instead, you are centered, grounded, and moving forward with God's guidance. This alignment is not a destination but a journey. It requires daily surrender, daily trust, and daily intentionality. It means continually seeking God's will and allowing His presence to shape your life. As you walk in alignment with Him, you will experience a life of peace, abundance, and purpose that reflects His glory. This is the life you were created for, a life where every aspect of your being is aligned with His perfect plan. Imagine a life where your steps are guided by God, Your heart is at peace, and your purpose is clear. This is the life He desires for you, a life of divine alignment. As you embrace this journey, you will discover that His plans for you are far greater than anything you could have imagined. The distractions, doubts, and fears that once held you back will fade away, replaced by the confidence and joy that come from walking in step with Him. This is your invitation to step into divine alignment with God's will. It's a call to let go of what no longer serves you, to trust His plan, and to prioritize Him above all else. As you take this step, you will experience the fullness of His promises and the joy of living a life that flows with His grace. This is not just the next step in your journey. It is the beginning of a life transformed by His love, empowered by His presence, and aligned with His perfect will. The best is yet to come, and it begins with your decision to walk in divine alignment today. As you reflect on this journey, remember that God's call is not just a fleeting moment of inspiration, but an ongoing invitation to live a life of purpose and peace. Each step, prioritizing Him, letting go of distractions, embracing His love, walking in obedience, trusting His refinement, and aligning with His will, draws you closer to the life He has prepared for you. This is not a journey of perfection, but of faith, trust, and surrender. God's plans for you are greater than you could ever imagine, and His love is deeper than you could ever comprehend. When you respond to His call and align your life with His purpose, you will discover a profound sense of freedom, joy, and fulfillment. Challenges may arise, but you will face them with the confidence of knowing that God is with you, guiding your every step. The best is yet to come, not because of what you can achieve, but because of who He is and what He has planned for you. This is your moment. Let go of the noise, embrace His love, and step boldly into the life He has prepared for you. Trust the process, stay connected to Him, and remember that walking in divine alignment is not just a destination. It's a journey of transformation and grace. The life you were created for awaits you, and it begins today with your decision to trust Him completely.